Welcome aboard. I'm Captain Wayne Canning, and I'm going to be your host in this video series about my favorite tools. After building and repairing boats for more than 40 years now, I found there are a few tools that are not so common that I found that I simply cannot live without. Now, I know most guys like to talk about their tools, and I'm no exception. So in this video series, I'm going to be showing you some of the tools that I consider indispensable. And I'm not talking about hammers and screwdrivers and drills and that kind of thing. I'm talking about the kind of tools that you normally would not think of, but the ones that I've found over the years are really handy to have on board. So let's take a quick look at what I feel like are my indispensable tools. Today's segment, I'm going to talk about a vacuum vise. Now, this may seem like a little bit of an odd tool, and I purchased this a few years ago thinking that I just needed it for one particular job. I was doing some soldering and I needed to hold the wires, and I was getting frustrated. So I ran down to Harbor Freight Tools and picked up this little vise, and I thought, well, you know, it was like $15, $20. I don't remember, but it wasn't very expensive, and I thought it would be well worth it for the one job I was doing. Well, it turned out once I had it, I continued to use it for other things, and I found that it's actually become one of my more indispensable tools. I use it all the time when working on the boat. It's surprisingly tough. It will hold things surprisingly well. Now, admittedly, it's not going to replace a big vise when you need to take off that heavy-duty pipe fitting or something, but it will help hold something when you need to hacksaw a small bit of metal or something like that, or hold something for drilling. And of course, as I used it before for holding something when soldering things. Let's take a look at some of the features that make this vise so useful. Now, of course, it has the vacuum base. And that's really what makes this handy. Because it does have a vacuum base, I can stick it to pretty much any smooth, non-porous surface. Now, I use it fairly extensively in the galley to do work in there because the galley countertop is the perfect height for standing and working at. But I can also use it out here in the cockpit. I can stick it to my cockpit table, and even though the table's wood, it will hold pretty well to that because it's got a smooth varnished surface. I can also stick it in different locations on the boat. Any smooth fiberglass surface will hold it pretty well, making it pretty handy for using in different locations. Another handy feature on this vise is it has this rotating base with this clamp, so you can kind of put it in different angles and different locations. And you'll notice here it's notched out so that I can actually turn it and put the vise on a vertical surface. And that makes it particularly handy. I like to use it on the back bulkhead in the cockpit in order to be able to work on things out in the cockpit. So this vise will work pretty well in almost all applications. Now, other than that, it's kind of your standard vise with the jaws. This one came with some rubber covers that go over the jaws for soft stuff, but I'll admit I've long since lost those. And the jaw does have a notch in it for holding tubing and round things, which comes in very handy as well. Now, of course, you're not going to hold a lot of really heavy-duty stuff, but I have found that it actually holds things pretty well for using a hacksaw and cutting metal parts. So that comes in really handy, and because it'll hold round things well, I can clamp a piece of heavy-duty stainless steel wire in there and have that hold it while I cut it with a cutoff wheel. So in general, I find a lot of uses for this. Now, these run anywhere from about $15 to as much as $60 or $70 depending upon the quality of what you're looking for. This one I think I paid probably $15, $20 for at Harbor Freight Tools, which is a relatively cheap one. If I break this and I find I upgrade, I may actually get a better one than this, but we'll see. This one's lasted me for a while, and like I say, I don't use it for a lot of heavy-duty stuff, but it's great when you need that third hand. For the money, I found this thing has really been very useful, and I'm sure if you get one, you'll find it very useful as well. Till next time, I'm Captain Wayne, wishing you loose screws and tight nuts. Thanks for watching. I hope you found the video helpful. Please consider helping me out by contributing either through my Patreon account, where you can pledge a little bit for every video I release, or a single donation to my PayPal account. Every little bit helps and will allow me to continue producing high quality videos that will help you maintain and repair your boat. Thanks again.